जी कर लेते हैं।
You speak something? Like everything is already ready for you to speak, then you have to prepare. Yours is small, huh? But this is enough for me. It's good.
अभी यहीं लगा देते हैं। कर शुरू। हरे कृष्ण। अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्न्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमो विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायण गोस्वामी इति नामिने श्रीकृष्ण लीला कथने सुदक्षम् उदारे माधुरे गुणैश्च युक्तं वरं वरेण्यं पुरुषं महान्तं नारायणं त्वां शिरसा नमामि। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मैं सर्वप्रथम अपने परम आराध्यतम गुरुदेव
First of all, my obeisance to my Guru Padma, most worshipful Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Narayana Goswami Maharaj.
अनंत कोटि दंडवत अर्पित करता हूँ।
And for my obeisances. After that also, the feet of all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, my Dandavat pranams accordingly. Today is a special day.
जैसे चैत्र की नवमी भगवान राम का आविर्भाव दिवस होता है, जन्मदिन।
Just like the Navami is the appearance and birthday of Ramachandra, Bhagavan.
बंद क्यों है?
Why did it stop? Why did it stop?
नहीं है, चालू है, चालू है। भगवान राम का आविर्भाव दिवस होता है,
So the appearance day of Ramchandra, Lord Bhagavan Ram.
अगला जो महीना ये वैशाख का महीना,
So in the next month after the Ram Navami,
की नवमी में
in the Shukla Paksha Navami, means in the Navami of the Shukla Paksha, the
उनकी पत्नी सीता जी का आविर्भाव
waxing
दिवस
moon, is the appearance of Sita Devi, the consort of Lord Ramchandra. So today,
दो महान हस्तियों का आविर्भाव,
so today is the appearance of two great personalities, eternally liberated.
राम की पत्नी सीता जी,
The wife of Bhagavan Ram, Sita, and also
बलराम जी की पत्नी,
the wife of Balaram,
जो महाप्रभु जी की लीला में
who is in the Janaka
की शक्ति के रूप में
in the pastimes of Mahaprabhu,
जानवी बनी,
Janavi,
का भी आविर्भाव दिवस है।
the consort of Nityananda Prabhu.
हमारे गुरु महाराज जी
Our Guru Maharaj
इसके ऊपर बहुत सुंदर लेक्चर दिए।
gave a beautiful lecture about this.
सीता जी मटके में से निकल के आई। मटका कहाँ गड़ा हुआ था?
So she came from a pot.
हिमालय की तलहटी।
It was in this pot was in the lap of the Himalayas. She appeared from a pot.
उस स्थान पर राजा जनक जी का राज्य
So
था।
that place was the kingdom of Janaka Maharaj.
वहाँ से निकल के आई।
And she appeared there.
बतलाने को बहुत सारी बातें हैं, मैं संक्षेप में बतला के
So I'll tell her. I'll tell her about briefly. Later Maharaj will speak more.
नवदीप धाम में एक स्थान है।
So there's a place in Navadvip Dham called Mamgachi.
वहाँ पर
There,
भगवान राम ने सीता जी को मुस्कुराते हुए कहा,
once Ramachandra was smiling,
तुम जंगलों में रहोगी और मैं घर पे रहूंगा।
and he told her, in that Leela, you'll be.
उस समय वो लोग काशी में ठहरे हुए थे। मौज
So Mamagachi is in Modrum Dweep. So Ramachandra was laughing and remembering another pastime. Like when, like for example, Sita will be in the house as Vishnu Priya, and you'll stay in the house. I'll take sannyasa and I'll go out of the house, and you'll stay in the house. Sita ji told,
छुरी खरबूजे पे पड़े तो और खरबूजा छुरी पे पड़े तो कटेगा कौन? हैं? कटेगा तो खरबूजा। आप मुझे जंगल में छोड़ दें
so you leave me
या घर में बैठी छोड़ के संन्यास लेके चले जाएं
to go to the forest, and you'll take sannyasa and leave the house.
भगवान राम ने कहा नहीं।
Ramachandra told,
हमारे गुरुदेव का बड़ा ही प्रिय विषय रहा।
no, actually this is a very dear topic to our Gurudeva. Prema has two
एक मिलन और एक
two parts. Like, even though he left, he hadn't abandoned her. So
मैं भौतिक जगत का एक
there's
उदाहरण देता हूँ।
viraha and meeting. So I give an example. Material world. If you clap,
दोनों हाथ मिल
clap your hands. You can clap if you have your two hands,
दूर ना किए जाए।
but without clapping the hands.
करके फिर जब जोर से मिलाते हैं तो
Actually, to make a clap very loudly, you have to put your hands very far from each other, and then they meet. Then the clap will be loud. If it's from not so much distance, the clap will not be so loud. So in the same way, like meeting and separation,
क्या बोला? एक ही सिक्के के दो पहलू हैं।
they're like the two parts of the same thing, meeting and separation.
दुनिया जानती नहीं। बड़े-बड़े आचार्य, बड़े-बड़े
So even great acharyas and great people who speak about many topics, they don't know about this.
ढेर सारे रीजन देते हैं, ढेर सारे कारण बताते हैं।
There are many reasons, like why Mahaprabhu took sannyas, why he left Sita, like why he left so many things.
बहुत लंबी कथा।
Gurudeva used to tell a very long lecture about it, how
सीता जी राजा जनक के
Sita,
हल चलाने से
when Janaka Maharaj he was plowing the fields, he found a pot, and this pot actually
साधुओं के जान से निकला हुआ खून इकट्ठा किया गया था।
it,
साधुओं ने इकट्ठा
it was from the
रावण को टैक्स के रूप में
no
दिया गया था और कहा था
Ravana had collected
ये मटका जो खून
tax
हम तुम्हें
like
टैक्स के रूप में दे रहे हैं
from the blood of the sadhus.
को नष्ट कर दो। रावण की उम्र बहुत लंबी थी, हजारों साल की थी जब भगवान राम आए।
When
वो तो परशुराम के समय भी था।
because Ravana was very old when Ram came to the earth. He was already 11,000 years. Because Ravana was from the time of Parashuram even.
तब शिव जी के कहने पे परशुराम जी ने रावण को बचाया।
So Parashuram protected the Ram, saved the Ram.
तो जो हल होता है ना हल,
You know the plow. Sorry, I didn't understand the context of what he told before. Okay, so Janaka Maharaj was plowing the fields. It was a drought for 2 years. It was not raining. So who was like the ox of the you know the ox they bring the plow? Who was that person? Actually, his wife Sunayna. She was bringing the plow, and that wood in the middle that carries the plow, who like it's touching the soil and revolving the soil. So that thing is called Sita, the tip of that part of the plow that touches the soil. Sita. So from this plow, they found this spot, and there was a girl inside. So that's why her name became Sita. Sita ji, she, when Bhagavan Ram, so when her father would go somewhere, he would tell, oh, to his daughter, take care of this bowl of Shiva and take care and the puja like this. Actually, it was a place with soil. It was not with marble. So with her own hands, she was to clean. Not even Janaka Maharaj could lift that bowl, but she could. So Janaka Maharaj did some resolution. The only person who will marry her is that person who is able to like string this bow of Shiva. Vishwamitra came, then Ram and Sita got married. All these things happened. And then Ravana took Sita, kidnapped Sita. At that moment, Bhagavan Ram, he had given his original Sita to the fire. Ravana only took the Maya Sita. And later there was a Agni Pariksha, like the test of chastity in the fire. So Rama took his Sita back. According to the worldly view, they thought Ram was testing the chastity of Sita, but actually Ram wanted to take his Sita back. Actually, so he was 11,000 years. Sorry, I didn't understand exactly what he told about this time.
राज्य में भी मिलती हैं, घरों में भी मिलते हैं, परिवार में भी मिलते हैं, मठों में भी और ये सिलसिला चला रहता है।
Sorry, I didn't understand exactly what he said.
सीता जी को वन में निकाला, वो वाल्मीकि जी के आश्रम में चली गई, वो वाल्मीकि जी ने उन्हें संभाला। गुरुदेव बोलते हैं,
So Gurudev told,
जिसे राजा निकाल दे उसको कौन रख सकता है? वाल्मीकि जैसा ही रख सकता है। उसमें इतनी ताकत हो जो राजा राम के साथ टक्कर ले सके। वो राम के ही भक्त थे, रामायण लिख रहे थे।
So the Ramayana tells that
लव कुश ने राम की बड़ी सुंदर
about Lav and Kush.
लीला का वर्णन किया राम जी के दरबार में। ये नहीं मालूम कि ये राम जी थे।
So they didn't know Rama was.
और सारे
Who?
राम जी के दरबार में हल्ला मच गया, ये तो राम ही लग रहे हैं लड़के।
Sorry, I didn't understand exactly. I'm
पता
sorry.
चला कि ये तो वाल्मीकि जी के शिष्य हैं, वाल्मीकि जी को
So they
बुलाया
only
गया,
know he was the disciples of Valmiki.
सीता जी को
So they
बुलाया,
called Valmiki. And Valmiki called
वाल्मीकि जी ने कहा
Sita. Then Rama told,
ये प्रमाण दो
giving some evidence that
एकनिष्ठ हो, सती हो।
you are really chaste and loyal to me.
तो सीता जी ने कहा
Sita
मेरी
told,
परीक्षा से पूरी बात नहीं बनी,
it's not enough only testing
राजा
my
दशरथ जी
testing
ने
the
और
fire.
ऋषियों ने आके भी बोल दिया तो भी बात नहीं बनी, अब और क्या प्रमाण लाती हैं,
Which
मैं
other,
यही प्रमाण
even Valmiki came and gave evidence, which other evidence you want to give? If I'm really chaste, so make the earth open and I'll.
मैया
So Dharti Maya, the Prithvi Devi earth, came with a throne and took Sita with her.
मिलन तो हुआ क्षण भर का, उसके बाद विरह, और विरह में राम तड़पे।
So Ram was suffering in
गुरुदेव इस चीज
separation.
को बहुत सुंदर रूप से बतलाते थे।
Gurudev used to
सीता
tell
जी
this
का
a
मन तो
lot.
फिर भी बहल जाया करता था जब वो आश्रम में रहती थी, वहाँ पे और स्त्रियां भी रहती थी। गुरुदेव कहते शायद वो भी भजन के लिए आया करती थी, उन समय आश्रमों में स्त्रियों का रहने के लिए वाल्मीकि जी ने अलाउ किया हुआ था। सीता जी का तो
So
मन बहल
Valmiki
जाता था, संग में उसके उनके दो
allowed
पुत्र
Sita to stay in the
राम
ashram.
अकेलापन महसूस करते थे, इसलिए उन्होंने यज्ञ करवाए ताकि उनका मन बहल जाए। अब मिलने वाली थी सीता, सीता जी फिर वापस चली गई और उस समय उनको बड़ा गुस्सा आया पृथ्वी पे और धनुष
So
बाण उठा के कहा,
when Sita was taken by the earth, Ram was so angry and he wanted to destroy the earth. And he
वो
took
तो
his bow
तुम्हारी
and arrow.
हरास, लेकिन मैं तुम्हारे को
You
विलीन कर
took
दूंगा,
my
मेरी सीता
life
का
there.
वंश लुटा दो।
Give my
वाल्मीकि
Sita
बोले
back.
मैं
Then
अभी तक
Valmiki
अपने
came
रामायण को कंप्लीट
and
नहीं कर
told,
पा रहा था,
I couldn't complete the Ramayana.
संक्षेप नहीं कर पा रहा था, मुझे अंत नहीं दिखाई दे रहा था।
I didn't write the
अब
end, so this is the
सीता चली
end.
गई है
Sita
अयोध्या
left,
साकेत, अप्रकट
and
धाम
Ayodhya Saketa is going to the Aprakat
की
Dham.
तैयारी की।
Be ready to go to the spiritual world.
तो ये मिलन और विरह, मिलन
So
और
Milan
विरह
Viraha, meeting, separation, separation, meeting. This
प्रेम
is
है,
the activities of Prem.
ऐसे ही कृष्ण लीला में होता है।
So the pastimes of Krishna are like this.
ऐसे ही महाप्रभु जी छोड़ के चले गए तो किस तरह से
So how Mahaprabhu
विष्णु
also
प्रिया
left
उनको
Vishnu
मिलने के
Priya,
लिए तड़प
and
रही
Vishnu
थी।
Priya, how she was suffering separation from
महाप्रभु जी
him.
आ जाते हैं, स्फूर्ति में आते हैं,
Mahaprabhu sometimes used to come like visions,
यहाँ
spuritis
पे
to Vishnu
अभी आज
Priya.
है,
So there is also
महाराज जी
day of
बोले
Janaka Devi. I'll stop speaking here.
को देता हूँ,
Maharaj will speak the
मेरा
rest.
पूरा हो गया। हरे
My quota is full now.
कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम राम।
गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुश्च कृपा श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद
Cara,
अद्वैत
acabei que ela falou mesmo,
गदाधर
cara.
श्रीवासदि श्री गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। सर्वप्रथम
So first of all,
नित्य लीला
eu preciso tomar Guru Pad Padma, Nitla Pravistam Vishnu Pad, Nastotara Shata, Shishiman Bhaktivedanta, Shlavamana Goswami Maharaj, Nitla Pravistam Vishnu Pad, Nastotara Shata, Shishiman Bhaktivedanta, Shlanarayan Goswami Maharaj, to the lotus feet which remove all the fear, offer my Dandavat pranams again and again. Also after that, my obeisance to Nitla Pravistam Vishnu Pad, Nastotara Shata, Shla Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, and Shila Guru Govinda Goswami Maharaj, Shila Bhakti Vingana Bharat Goswami Maharaj, and to Param Puja Pada Srila Ramachandra Prabhu, Sri Shanta Maharaj, and to all the Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, to the feet of everyone. Please accept my Dandavat Pranams accordingly. So now you have just heard how today It's such a pure day.
जहाँ पर स्वयं
How
रामचंद्र की पत्नी सीता देवी के
today
आविर्भाव
is the
तिथि
appearance day of the wife of
आज कहा जाता है
Ram, Sita Devi.
सीता नवमी कहा जाता
So we call this day Sita Navami.
है। हम लोगों ने
So 1 month ago, we celebrated the Ram Navami, the appearance of Ramachandra,
शुक्ला
in
नवमी
the
तिथि में
Shukla Navami Titi, means the Navami Titi of the waxing moon. Waxing moon.
और अभी शुक्ला नवमी तिथि रामचंद्र की नित्य पत्नी
So now, in 1 month later, is the appearance of the wife of Ram, Sita.
भगवान रामचंद्र
Bhagavan Ram, when did he come?
विषय में भी हमारे आचार्य
Our Acharya is explaining about this also. When did he come?
ये वास्तव रूप में भगवान राम
Actually, Bhagavan Ramachandra, when he came
24वां
He
चतुर्युग
came in the 24th Catur-vyuga. When? In the 24th Catur-vyuga.
चतुर्युग त्रेता में आए थे। अभी वर्तमान के
Now, we are now in the 28th Catur-vyuga.
तो इसके मतलब 4
So,
चतुर्युग पहले भगवान
4 Catur-yugas ago was when Ramachandra came. So, you can think how many billions and millions of years before was when Ramachandra came. People think that
कि अभी जो त्रेता युग गई
this last Treta Yuga, which just happened, in this last Treta Yuga, was when Ramachandra came.
किंतु ये वास्तव नहीं है।
But this is not true.
ग्रंथ में श्री रूप गोस्वामी
In the Lagu Bhagavatamrita, Srila Rupa Goswami, he describes very nicely about this.
कई बहुत लोग प्रश्न करते सोचते हैं
Many people think that
चंद्र
Ramachandra,
या अभी कली चल रहे कली के बाद ये कली के पहले
before Kali Yuga, this Dwapara Yuga, and then in the Dwapara Yuga, before the Dwapara Yuga, the last Treta Yuga, he came. But this is not true.
गौड़ीय वैष्णव की सिद्धांत अतीव सूक्ष्माति सूक्ष्माति सूक्ष्म है विचार करके बताते हैं और
The conception of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas are very subtle and they describe all this. But people of the other sampradayas, they explain, they say whatever they think in their minds.
सीता जी के जन्म वृत्तांत बहुत सुंदर है
So the life history of
शास्त्रों में
Sita is so beautiful, and how she was born is so beautiful.
ऋषि
Valmiki Rishi,
वर्णन किया है
he described so well,
मनुष्य
and also other texts.
रामचंद्र की लीला कथाएं जो है अनेकों
There are
लोगों ने अनेकों
many people in many different languages, they have described the pastimes of Lord Ramchandra.
विचित्र
India is such a diversified country, and in India, there are so many people that have different kinds of languages, idiom, like they speak different languages.
और उसी भाषा भाषी के लोग
So, according to the people, they have different languages, so there are books that are written in their specific languages.
कहा जाता है
But Shastra explains, Mula Ramayana Shaiva, which the original Ramayana, which one is it? The Valmiki Ramayana, means the Ramayana written by Valmiki is the original.
जो है संस्कृत भाषा में
It's written in Sanskrit language.
वाल्मीकि जी ने
Valmiki wrote it in Sanskrit.
इसके अलावा अनेकों रामायण की कथा
So the other Ramayanas,
प्रसिद्ध भी
they are also famous. Like in Bengal, it's very famous, the Kirtibas Ramayana.
है उन्होंने बंगला भाषा में रामायण को प्रकाशित किया
It's a Ramayana in Bengali language.
उत्तर प्रदेश में
In the north of India, for the people who speak Hindi, Ramayana very easy to understand, very nice, is the one wrote by Tulsidas. The name is Ramcharitmanas.
तमिल तेलुगु
In Tamil and Telugu, other languages, also in Kannada, another language of India, there are also Ramayanas in these other languages. But if you see, analyze all these Ramayanas, you see that actually
क्योंकि सभी लोगों ने वाल्मीकि रामायण के ऊपर ही
they are like in a way no different from the Valmiki Ramayana, because all of them, they have the basis of Valmiki Ramayana, and they just according to time, place, and circumstance and their own language, they wrote that Ramayana in different languages. But
रामायण लिखा
actually the Ramayana that Valmiki wrote in Sanskrit
साक्षात
is directly like he was in samadhi, in trance, transcendental trance, and he wrote that book.
की कृपा से
Just like Vyasadeva, by the mercy of Narada Rishi, Vyasadeva, he had the darshan of all the leelas of God, then he wrote
भक्ति योगेन मनुष्य
the Bhagavatam.
निहिते अमले अपसत पुरुषं पूर्ण मायांच तदपाश्रयम् श्रीमद् भागवत में स्पष्टीकरण कर
Srimad Bhagavatam explains very clearly.
साक्षात रूप में दर्शन करके है। इसलिए यहाँ पर भी वर्णन करते हैं
So here it's described.
विष्णु की अवतार माना जाता है।
Ramachandra is the avatar of Vishnu.
यानी विष्णु से श्री रामचंद्र प्रकट हुए और शेष भगवान
And Narayan, Vishnu came, and Shesh was incarnated as Lakshman. And the Shankha, the conch that Vishnu has in his hands, appeared as Bharata. And that chakra disc in the hands of Vishnu appeared as Shatrughna. And Vishnu is same as Ramchandra.
द्वारका में जो चतुर्भुज
Or also those expansions in Dwaraka, Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. In the Lagu Bhagavatam it also explains how Vasudeva, he is Ramachandra himself,
संकर्षण जो है लक्ष्मण
Sankarsana, Lakshman,
और प्रद्युम्न जो है
Pradyumna is Bharat, and Aniruddha is Shatrughna, appeared as Shatrughna.
उसी प्रकार
In this way,
स्वयं रामचंद्र की पत्नी सीता देवी
the wife of Ramachandra Sita also appeared,
और लक्ष्मण की पत्नी उर्मिला
and the wife of Lakshman is Urmila, wife of Bharata Sutakirti, and the wife of Shatrughna Mandabi.
ये समस्त जो है बहुत विस्तृत वर्णन
All this is described in details.
अभी सीता जी के जन्म वृत्तांत के बारे में बहुत सुंदर
So it's there's a stories in Puranas also how the appearance of Sita, how Sita appeared. Sometimes we describe these Katha, these stories.
जिसमें ब्रह्म वैवर्त
In the Brahma Vaivarta Purana explains
का भी वर्णन है
this story also. In the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, in the 14th chapter,
सीता जी की जन्म वृत्तांत
explains the story of the birth of Sita, the narration of her birth.
जिसमें स्वयं नारद
So Narada Rishi himself,
की जो है प्रश्न किया जिसे कहते हैं
he asked to Narayana.
और नारद संवाद
Narada and Narayana Samvad, the conversation between Narayana and Narada.
नारद ऋषि सब कुछ जानते हुए पर भी
Although Narada Rishi, he knows everything,
नारायण के प्रश्न पूछा जी आप मुझे
he is asking to God the questions.
पूर्व जन्म की कथा
He told,
सीता जी की उत्पत्ति की कथा हमें वर्णन से श्रवण कराइए
please
इसलिए सीता जी की
tell me the story of how Sita appeared. So today is Sita Navami. So,
हे मुने नारद ऋषि
so God told, hey Narada Rishi, in the ancient times,
ध्वज वो कुशध्वज
there were two brothers called Dharmadhaj and Kushadhaj.
ये दोनों भाई अत्यंत
These two brothers, they did so much hard steps. In this way they worshipped Mahalakshmi.
और तपस्या करके अपने अभिष्ट वस्तु
And after worshipping her, they obtained what they wanted, their cherished desire. By the blessing of Mahalakshmi, both brothers,
धर्मध्वज
Dharmadhaj and
और कुशध्वज
Kushadhaj, both of them,
सागरा पृथ्वी के जो है
they became the kings of the whole planet.
और दोनों भाई
And both brothers,
अत्यंत प्रेम प्रति से
with so much love and affection, they
पृथ्वी के जो है शासन अधिकारी
used to rule the earth.
कुशध्वज के पत्नी
The wife of Kushadhaj was so chaste.
मालावती ने
She was called Malabati,
एक
Malavati,
सती कन्या को
and she gave birth to a baby girl. And this girl was directly the Amsha, like the incarnation of Lakshmi.
लक्ष्मी का अंश थी
She was an incarnation of Lakshmi.
वह भूमिष्ठ होते ही साक्षात ज्ञान संपन्न हो गई
She was already born with all the knowledge.
वह कन्या जो है जन्म लेने की
And when this girl were born in the delivery room, even in the delivery room, you know, Sutika Griha is like a delivery room, like place for deliverance. So in a very clear voice, see, just as soon as she was born, she was already reciting the Vedic mantras.
इसीलिए विद्वान पुरुष लोग उसे विद्वती कहते हैं
So the knowledge people call her Vedavyati. Means the scholars call her Vedavyati, that's why
और देखते देखते ही वो कन्या
they gave this name to her. And like
नवजुवन संपन्न हो गई
like immediately, like almost immediately after she was born, she already became young and beautiful. I mean, like she grew up very quickly, just like immediately. And then she went to the forest to do austerities. Her parents tried to forbid her, but she would not listen to the prohibitions of anyone. She didn't follow those prohibitions, and
नारायण की उपासना करने के लिए,
she went to
तपस्या करने के
do
लिए
austerities to worship Narayana. She left.
हजारों साल तक
So for 1,000 years, Vedavyati,
तपस्या करने लगे।
she was doing austerities.
विशेष करके उन्होंने
Especially she
पुष्कर तीर्थ में जाकर के
went to Pushkar
हजारों
Tirtha,
साल तक
and for
मनंतर समय
many thousand years, for one Manvantar, she was doing performing hard austerities.
किंतु
But
तपस्या के फल प्राप्त नहीं हो रहा।
she didn't attain the fruit of austerity. She was not having the darshan of Bhagavan.
तब वो बहुत दुखित हुए।
Then she was so upset.
इतने समय आकाश
Then there was an aerial voice saying, "Hey Vedavati, listen.
भगवत दर्शन जो है, नारायण साक्षात रूप में दर्शन जो है,
The darshan of Bhagavan Narayana is so rare.
बड़े बड़े गंधर्व
Even great Gandharvas
और बड़े बड़े लोग भी जिसको दर्शन
and many people, they cannot have darshan of Narayana.
तपस्या को छोड़ दो,
Give up these hard austerities. You cannot have his darshan." Listening to this,
वह वेदवती
this Vedavati, she became so upset.
किंतु
But
क्या कि पुनः जो है
she again started to perform austerities one more time.
एक स्थान में बैठ करके
She sat down in one place,
तपस्या आदि करने लगी।
performing austerities,
तपस्या में
hard austerities.
और
And
उनकी इतनी सुंदर रूप
her form was so beautiful.
आदि देख करके
Seeing her beautiful form, the demigods became so impressed.
खाए के
She was not eating, not drinking,
तपस्या करने लगे।
and performing hard austerities. But still, she was so
तपस्या
pretty.
आदि देख करके देवता लोग भी
Seeing her austerities, the demigods became afraid.
स्वर्ग आदि देवता लोग किसी की तपस्या देख
Because, the demigods of Swarga, when they see somebody performing austerities, they will think, oh, maybe they will take my position.
उसी प्रकार वो कठोर तपस्या आदि
So in this way, she was performing hard austerities.
श्री नारायण के दर्शन नहीं हो रहा।
But still, she was not having the darshan of Bhagavan Narayana.
यानी
Then she left Pushkar, that place.
गंधमादन
She went to the Gandhamadan hill, and she was alone there. And
और वहीं पर पुनः
she started again to perform austerities.
उनकी वेदवती के इतने सुंदर रूप,
Seeing the beautiful form of Vedavati in her,
कांति के छटा
her effulgence,
को मानो
her effulgence would brighten all the four directions. She was so pretty.
रूप जौवन सुंदर
Her beautiful young form.
आदि ऐसे रूप देख करके
Seeing her beautiful young form, everybody used to become amazed. Because, even performing austerities and without eating or drinking, her body was so powerful and beautiful, attractive,
रूप जौवन संपन्न
so young and pretty, everybody was amazed and attracted.
वह स्थान सुंदर ऐसे निर्मल था, शीतल वायु के द्वारा
That place was very beautiful. Also, there was a nice breeze
जो है
always blowing in that place. Like
वायु प्रवाहित
there was a nice breeze always blowing in that place where she was performing austerities. And
के योग प्रभाव के
by the power of the yoga of the Vedavyati, even the trees in that place were full of fruits and flowers.
सुशोभित हो रहा है।
So beautiful, and like very beautiful scenario of the nature.
वृक्ष की फल मानो धरित्र देवी के चुंबन कर
Just like
फल इतने वृक्ष में लग जाते
there's so many fruits in the tree that it was like the tree was kissing the earth, the ground, the earth. Many kinds also of flowers with so many different ornaments. Different perfumes. This is called parimal. Parimal is the fragrance of the flowers. Also fragrance of the lotus flower, etc. So many other kinds of birds, and like peacock, peahen, chanting ki, ke, ka. Cuckoo bird also singing. Peacock, peahen dancing.
वो है ऐसे दिव्य
Sing this beautiful and divine
स्थान।
place.
एक दिन
One day,
रावण
Ravan,
सर्वत्र भ्रमण करते करते अकस्मात
going everywhere, suddenly
स्थान पर आ गए।
he came to that place.
वो बन के ऐसे सुंदर स्वभाव के दर्शन करके
And seeing this beautiful scenario, beautiful place, Ravana was also overtaken by the lusts. You know, such a beautiful spring season, nice fragrance, everything so beautiful, and the peacock peahen also humming, cuckoo bird singing. Many kinds of birds were also present, and there was like happiness, happy moods everywhere. So seeing this and her, Ravana was overtaken by lust.
रावण ने क्या देखा, वो वेदवती के देखा.
No, sorry, Ravana was already like overtaken by that scenario of the nature. Then he saw her body, of Vedavyati, and she was so beautiful, so effulgent, and her body effulgence would illuminate the 10 directions, and she was so beautiful and fragrant and everything, and attractive. So he was overtaken, sorry, by lust. He came to Vedavyati and told, "Oh, I'm hungry. I need to eat."
रावण क्या बोले, यहाँ पर भी लिखते हैं.
What Ravana told, here is written.
कहने लगे, हे कल्याणी.
Ravana told, "Hey, Kalyani, oh, you are so good to others, or a blessed one. Oh,
ऐसे सुंदर सती साध्वी.
you are such a chaste lady,
अल्प
and you are so young.
जानी जुवा है. इस स्थान पर क्यों तुम अकेला क्यों रहो?
Why you are alone in this place?
मुझे भोजन की व्यवस्था करो.
Food for me."
अतिथि को देख करके वह वेदवती
Seeing this guest, Vedavyati, she fed Ravana.
और रावण भोजन करके
Ravana, after eating,
और वेदवती की तरफ काम भाव में विमुख
he
होकर के
came to the Vedavyati, overtaken by lust,
उनके वस्त्र आदि के जो है.
and he started like trying to touch or pull her clothes.
वेदवती ने क्या किया,
Then in this moment, Vedavyati became so angry and told, "Evil, foolish, Ravan, you are making a hole in the plate where you eat.
तुम भूख प्यास में तड़प रहा.
You were feeling thirst and hunger. You came to me to get asking for something to eat. I gave to you. I thought you were a guest in my house, and I fed you even. And after being eating, you are having these evil eyes upon me."
उस समय वेदवती ने क्या किया, तपस्या के
Then, so by the fruit of her austerities, then Vedavati could make Ravan stunned. Like Ravana could not even move. His body was like he couldn't move because of the power of Vedavati. She made him stunned, like he couldn't move.
साधन स्त्री नहीं है.
Then he understood, oh, she's not an ordinary lady.
फिर रावण रोने लगे.
Then Ravana started crying even.
वेदवती ने क्या किया,
Then Vedavati, she,
जोग बल से फिर उनको
with the power of her yoga,
के सारे शरीर के अंगों को संचालित कर दिया.
she made his body come back to move, like he could move later.
उस समय
Like she stopped stunning his body, and then
उनके निकट दुर्व्यवहार करने के लिए प्रयास किया.
Ravana again tried to like harass her, and then Vedavati told, "Foolish! I will curse you.
तो मेरे गृह में मेरे तब कुटिया में आकर के
You came in my hut
अतिथि
like a visitor, like a guest, and I fed you. I even fed you, and then
मेरे सदित्व के जय
and now you want to break my chastity. Go.
मैं ही जो है तुम्हारा मृत्यु के कारण
I will be the cause of your death,
और तुम्हें स्ववंश में तुम्हारा
and also all your dynasty will be destroyed."
ऐसे करके वेदवती
Saying this, Vedavati told,
ये तुमने किसी न किसी प्रकार से
"Somehow
स्पर्श किया.
you have touched my body, so that's why I will give up my body now." Saying this, Vedavati, by the power of her yoga, she gave up her own body.
और शरीर छोड़ करके वो चली गई.
She left her body, and Ravana was afraid.
रावण उस स्थान को छोड़ करके चले अपने स्थान.
So Ravana left that place and went to Lanka.
वही वेदवती
This Vedavati,
तपस्विनी पूर्व जन्म की तपस्या के स्वरूप
by the power of her great austerities,
भगवान रामचंद्र की पति रूप में
she got Bhagavan Ramchandra as a husband.
इसलिए स्वयं भगवान नारायण कहने हे
Swayam Bhagavan Narayana told, "Hey Narada Rishi,
वास्तव रूप में ही
this
और कोई नहीं
beautiful
है
lady was no one else. She was directly
अंश सर्व
an amsha of Lakshmi, like a expansion of Lakshmi. She's Sita.
इस कथा को वर्णन करते हुए
So
स्वयं भगवान
Swayam Bhagavan Narayana told,
हे नारद जी ऋषि
"Hey Narada Rishi,
इस कथा को तुमको मैं वर्णन करता हूँ त्रेता युग में
in Treta Yuga,
भगवान रामचंद्र अयोध्या में प्रकट
appeared in Ayodhya,
है, जिस कथा मैंने अभी पहले ही बता दिया और
like I told before.
उनकी साक्षात जो शक्ति सर्वी
And his potency, Sita Devi,
मिथिला में
she also appears in
जनक
Mithila
महाराज श्रद्धा जनक महाराज के कन्या के रूप
as the daughter of Shirodhat Janaka Maharaj.
में जैसे जैसे आप लोग ने कथा
So as you have already heard,
इसी भी कथा में भी वर्णन होते जा रहे हैं तो सीता देवी के जन्म वृत्तांत तो आप लोग ने श्रवण किया विभिन्न
so also in different Ramayanas there are many stories about how Sita Devi was born and appeared. Not in only one Ramayana, in many Ramayanas. Many stories are famous.
और जनक महाराज की मिथिला में
So Janaka Maharaj, he was from Mithila. When we say Janaka Maharaj, we mean Shirodhat Janak is his name.
क्योंकि जनक जो है वो टाइटल
Because Janak is only a title, you know.
अनेकों जनक के नाम जो है शास्त्र में
Actually, Shastra explains about many kinds of Janakas.
कि जो राजा जो जनक कहा जाता है वो
So the king of Mithila, his name was actually Shirodhat Janak, the father of Sita.
प्रसिद्ध है
He's known and famous by being the father of Sita. So this Janaka Maharaj, his wife was Sunayna. Sunayana. So his story is also very beautiful about him.
वो आत्मकाम
He's known as aptakama.
सुखदेव गोस्वामी पाद कहा
Shukadeva Goswami is known as atmarama, self-satisfied person, and Janaka Maharaj is known as aptakama. All his desires are automatically fulfilled.
संसार में सब कुछ रहते हुए पर भी किसी
Even though he has everything in this world, like family and everything, and he's not attached to anything. This is aptakama.
रमन करने वाले
And atmaram is that person who is self-satisfied.
उनके चित्तमणि जगत में नहीं रहता है
His heart is not taken by anything else. Atmaram, because the person is completely immersed in God, in Brahma. He's not saying anything in this world. Example is Shukadeva Goswami. Bhagavatam also describes this in this verse. Atmaramas chamonayu.
तो उसी प्रकार जो है कहने की तात्पर्य इसमें थोड़ी सी एक कथा सुना
So I'll tell you just a small story
पिताजी के पिता
about the father of Sita,
श्रद्धा जनक
Shirodhat Janak. Some story about him. How he was an Atmaram person.
काम पुरुष
Sorry, Aptakam person. Aptakam.
है पुराण में ऐसी कथा है
In the Puranas, there is a story
जब
that when
वैष्णदेव जी ने सुखदेव गोस्वामी पाद के भागवत कथा श्रवण कराया
Vyasadeva
से लेकर के
told the Bhagavad Katha
भागवत कथा श्रवण कराया
to Parikshit Maharaj. When came time for the 10th canto,
कथा जो है प्रथम अध्याय से लेकर के
so from the first canto, 28th chapter of the 10th canto,
समाप्त हो गया
they covered, Shukadeva Goswami spoke. Now he was about to start the 29th chapter of the 10th canto. You know, this time is of rasa-lila. Gurudev also told, Puranas also. So Vyasadeva told in these moments,
योग्य है
look, who is qualified to listen to rasa-lila katha? No, sorry, look, Vyasadeva was telling Bhagavad Katha to Shukadeva, not I told wrong. So he spoke everything until the 10th canto, 28th chapter. But before speaking about rasa-lila, he told who is qualified to listen to this. Then Shukadeva said, I'm Akumar Brahmachari. I'm a Brahmachari since my birth. Then, but Vyasadeva told him, you have to take the certificate from some person, then I'll tell the rasa-lila katha to you.
व्यासदेव जी ने कृष्ण देवयान वेद व्यास ने कहा जाओ पिताजी से जाओ जनक महाराज से
So
सर्टिफिकेट
Vyasadeva told to Shukadeva, his son, Shukadeva Goswami, go to Janaka Maharaj to check if you have eligibility to listen rasa-lila katha. See if you get this like diploma for him. Because it's a transcendental katha about transcendental lust. Rasa-lila is about transcendental lust. This is not ordinary.
काम विकार हो जाए
Otherwise, you might have like you feel some lust in your heart if you are not, if you're not qualified, then rasa-lila you will
जनक महाराज जी की सभा
make,
में बड़े बड़े
So what happened
ऋषि
was
लोग बैठे हुए थे,
there was a great assembly where many rishis were sitting,
सब
present.
बड़े बड़े ऋषि
Great rishis were present in that assembly.
मनोज्ञ
Tattagya, Manogya, Rasagya, everything.
जोगींद्र महेंद्र
Jogindra, Mahindra.
ये समस्त लोग सब बैठे हुए थे। और इतने समय जनक महाराज की पत्नी
Then the wife of Janaka Maharaj, Sunayna,
इतने सुंदर सुकोमल से कोमल और सूक्ष्म वस्त्र परिधान
she
करके
came wearing a very thin clothes, a cloth, like a garments, very thin, and she was chewing the pan, betel nuts, and she was like moving her eyes and everything, like very like a woman way, womanly, like seduction, let's say. Not exactly, Gurudev didn't use this word, but like the ways of a woman, like this. Seeing her coming, all the rishis and tapasvis, those who control the senses and the austerities, everyone looked down. All of them, they looked down.
हमारे चित्त में विकार
Because they didn't want to look at her, because maybe their heart will be agitated by lust or something to look at her. So that's why all of them looked down. But Shukadeva Goswami, he was with his eyes open, no problem at all. He was just sitting there and nothing happened for him.
सुखदेव गोस्वामी की बात आ रहे हैं, कोई
So Shukadeva was not ordinary. Shukadeva Goswami,
आंख खोल करके बैठे रहे,
he was sitting with his eyes open.
उनके कोई
For him, there was
चित्त में कोई
nothing, like his heart didn't pass for any like kind of agitation or some vikar, transformation by seeing that woman.
देखा,
So Janaka Maharaj saw the reaction of
देखा क्या सब
Shukadeva Goswami. Everyone in that assembly, they looked down, they faced down. When they saw the woman, the wife of Janaka Maharaj, they looked down.
गोसाई पाद
They looked down. They looked down. But
अचंचल मति
Shukadeva Goswami, Achanchalamati, his mind, is so fixed.
ना कोई विकार है ना कुछ,
So he didn't feel any vikar, any transformation, nothing. So then in this moment, Janaka Maharaj gave the certificate, the stamp.
पिताजी के पास जाओ और
He told, okay, go to your father and you can listen to rasa-lila from your father.
बहुत सुंदर कथा है,
This story is very beautiful.
कथा है,
There are many other stories also.
संक्षेप में केवल जनक
Time is brief. So I spoke only about Janaka Maharaj.
दिया, किसको सुखदेव गोस्वामी के
So Janaka Maharaj gave the certificate to Shukadeva Goswami for him to listen to rasa-lila. Then Shukadeva Goswami came to Vyasadeva,
ये रास
and then Vyasadeva told the rasa-lila katha to Shukadeva.
है, ये साधारण इसलिए रूप गोस्वामी पाद तो दैन्य करके लिख रहे हैं,
So Rupa Goswami humbly he told,
सनक सनातन वर्णित चरित्र
Sanaka Sanandana Varnita Charite.
जो माधव देव सनक
Only those who can speak about like Shrimati Radhika and these high topics is like Brahmachari, like the four Kumaras. Because this katha of the gopis, it's not for normal people.
वक्ता के लिए तो ही कथी जा रहे हैं, हटे घटे माटे नहीं होता है, चलो आगे की कथा हम श्रवण कराते हैं,
Okay, continuing the story.
समय संक्षेप है।
Time is brief.
तो जनक महाराज जी की यानी वहाँ पर जो है और अनावृष्टि होने लगी, बारिश 2 साल बारिश नहीं हुई,
So there were 2 years
सब ऋषि लोग ने कहने लगे
without rain in the kingdom. So the rishis told to Janaka Maharaj,
चलाइए,
Maharaj, please plow the fields.
जग आदि करके
Then Janaka Maharaj, he performed some fire sacrifice. Then according to the rules, Janaka Maharaj himself, he plowed the field.
जब ये अभी आपने श्रवण
You
किया
have just heard
जो भाग अग्रभाग जो
the middle part under the plow is called Sita and it's made of iron.
चला रहे थे, चलाते चलाते हिमालय की
So plowing the fields, he was like on the basis of
अकस्मात
Himalayas. Then suddenly he heard the sound tan,
नहीं जा रहे,
and the
खींच नहीं पा रहे,
ox couldn't move further.
जनक महाराज
And
ने क्या कि बंद करके देखा
Janaka Maharaj stopped plowing and he saw a golden pot.
उस स्वर्ण घड़ा घड़ा को जब ऊपर से सुंदर
When
वस्त्र आदि के द्वारा ढके हुए
it was covered by some cloth
प्रकाश मणि मुक्त आदि
and with many kinds of jewels and ornaments. When he opened the pot, he saw there was a newborn baby girl.
आज इतनी सुंदर
So beautiful, she was so pretty.
कंचन गौरांगी
Tapta Kanchana Gaurang, like she was effulgent like the golden molten gold. Her eyes were so long and she was like very elongated eyes. She was so beautiful. Janaka Maharaj became pleased, and then Janaka Maharaj
सुनैना के दिया।
gave the baby girl to his wife Sunayna.
हल्के अग्रभाग के लगने के बाद
So,
उसके उठने से कारण उसके कहा जाता है
because that part of the plow touched that pot,
कई कई
they
रामायण में
called
जैसे
her
हमने
name
श्रवण किया
Sita, the baby girl. Other Ramayanas also, and there are other stories.
अनेकों रामायण में अनेकों कथा प्रचलित है।
In many Ramayanas, there are many stories. Also, there are other stories in the Puranas, so many. Just like you heard about how Ravana, he started taking taxes from the sadhus, but the sadhus didn't have anything to give. So the Ravana told that they should take the blood from the sadhus for like charging tax with the blood of the sadhus. So there was so much blood, so they had pots and pots with blood of the sadhus. So what to do with these pots? Then Ravana told, oh, throw them near the Himalayas. So from Lanka, these demons came carrying the blood of the sadhus and they threw in the near the Himalayas, because otherwise it would be bad smelling Lanka. So one of these pots they kept under the earth. So they also say that Sita was appeared in one of these. So many like stories like kind of interesting in this Ramayana is explained. But the actual story is in the Brahma Vaivarta Puran and also in the Valmiki Ramayana.
सीताजी जो है
Explains that Sita,
घड़े से नीचे उत्पन्न हुए
she came from under that pot and appeared there.
कहा गया उससे उत्पन्न हुए घड़े के नीचे
From under the pot.
दारिद्र्य कन्या भी कहा
That's why she's also called Daridri Kanya, like the daughter of the earth. You know, Sita is also called Prithvi Kanya or Daridri Kanya, like the daughter of the earth.
वर्णन किया था
Of, you know,
धरित्र में पृथ्वी
Daridra means Prithvi, like the earth. The earth.
नीचे से उत्पन्न है ना पृथ्वी से उत्पन्न है
So she came from under the earth. So that's why,
जाकर जब सीताजी
you know, when Sita also goes under the earth in the ends, Prithvi Devi came for her with a throne.
बेटी तो मेरे गोद
And she told, oh, my daughter, sit on my lap. Prithvi Devi told her, you heard this story, that in the end, how Sita entered Patal Pravesh. She entered the earth.
संग
And Prithvi Devi,
द्विधाविक्त होकर के दुखंडित हुए
you know, the earth
असंग
open in the middle. The Prithvi came with a throne, said, oh, my daughter, come to the lap of your mother. Come to sit in the shadow of the veil of your mother, because everybody who comes in this world they suffer so much. So come to the lap of your mother. Just like when Mahaprabhu took sannyasa, Vishnu Priya Devi,
सुंदर कीर्तन
she used to chant a beautiful kirtan.
जन्म तो दुखी दुखी ऐसे
My life is so unhappy. Everybody who comes in this world they suffer.
छिला मामी सत्य नारायणी है बंगला कीर्तन में सुंदर है
It's a beautiful kirtan in Bengali.
युगे छिला मामी सत्य नारायणी
When I came in Satyuga, I was Satyanarayana.
बाजार अभिशापे हो
By the curse of Durvasa,
मर्तवासिनी
I went to the material world.
युगे होला
In Catur-vyuga,
घरणी
I was the wife of Ram.
छलनाते होलाम वनवासिनी
We went to the jungle because of KK.
दापर युगे होलाम आमी
In Dwapara Jug,
दापर युगे होलाम आमी आयन घरणी
I came as the wife of Ayan Ghosh.
समझ गए
Do you
दापर
understand?
युगे होलाम आमी आयन घरणी और नहीं इसके जो है कलंकिनी से पहले मैं भूल गया
I forgot the exact words of the kirtan, but the end of it is Kalankini.
क्या बोलते हैं इसको होलाम कलंकिनी किसके छल याद कर
I have to remember.
जटिला जटिला और कुटिलाते होलाम कलंकिनी
Because of Jatide Kotila, I became defamed.
गौरांग घरणी
And in Kali Yuga, I became the wife of Gauranga.
गौरांग विरहिणी
And I'm suffering in separation from Gauranga.
सप्तयुगे होलाम अमी
Because he took sannyas and left.
दुर्वासार अभिशापे होलाम मर्तवासिनी दुर्वासा अभिशाप दे दिया एक बार
Once Durvasa cursed them. Durvasa, once he What happens? Looks for me it's frozen in my other. Could you check the Hindi? Frozen image.